See what I have to deal with every damn day, John.
Is Dave Kingman available, Dan?
Yeah, I'm sure McLovin loves Dave Kingman. He's another one of those guys. Hits a lot of home runs, strikes out, and you don't want him in the field. Other than that, he's a great guy to have. All right, where are we headed? You know, when you're writing for Sports Business Journal and you're looking at the business aspect of all of these decisions, rulings that are made, where does it really hit home with the NFL that we could see a seismic shift?
I think it starts to hit home as soon as TV ratings drop, attendance drops, merchandise drops, because those are going to be the metrics that all of these sponsors are looking at to decide whether or not to align with the NFL. As long as people are still buying, as long as people are still watching, sponsors are still going to be there. So the thing I'm taking a look at to see is if these crises are really affecting the viewing public and the buying public in any sort of discernible way.
But somebody has to make a move, the first move here. Radisson says we're going to pull our limited advertising from the Vikings, or Nike's pulling Adrian Peterson's jerseys. So there has to be that proactive, preemptive strike here before we're waiting for the ratings to go down.
Yeah, but even Radisson, they didn't actually pull it; they suspended it. And one of the reasons that they suspended it is because when the Vikings were coming out and making their Adrian Peterson announcements, all of a sudden you had the Radisson branding right behind them. They decided that probably wasn't a good use of their money. So it was sort of like what happened with the Clippers at the end of the last basketball season. Yeah, everybody decided that they'd already paid for everything, but they decided that they would suspend it and get an added PR kick at the end of the season.
Well, who's the most powerful in this situation? Is it the NFL? Is it the players? Or is it the sponsors?
That's a good question. I still think the NFL has a ton of power. If let's say that Anheuser-Busch pulls out, which almost certainly won't happen, but for the sake of argument, let's say that they pull out, Miller Coors is standing there dying to get in, and then behind Miller Coors, you even have like Keystone that would be dying to get in. So I think that there's a long list of sponsors and brands that still are dying to be associated with the league.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if it really matters, and I agree with you. I don't know if people stop watching the NFL. They may be discouraged from what they've seen, turned off to a certain degree, but come Sunday at 1 o'clock or even Thursday night, I'd love to see the numbers of people who aren't watching football. If it's a dramatic reduction here.
Well, we're talking about Ray Rice and we're talking about Adrian Peterson, and those are the big stories this season. Last season, we were talking about bullying. We were talking about Spygate. For the past 4 or 5 seasons, it seems there have been these stories that have really hurt the NFL. And during those 4 or 5 seasons, TV ratings have gone up. Heck, even merchandise from September 1st to right now is up like 23-25%. So I mean, the people may be making that decision, but plenty more people are still making purchasing decisions for it.
What happens if the NFL as a brand is damaged? Is there anything that could dramatically damage the NFL?
Yes, I think that if people stop watching, I think that hurts the NFL. And because right now, you have domestic violence, you have child abuse, you have murder, you have it's all happening under the cover of the shield right now. And so it has been damaged, and it is something that should concern the NFL. I mean, Anheuser-Busch, the fact that they put out that statement, that was so unusual. That just doesn't happen, and it's a first sign of any kind of commercial erosion. That basically now there's like a scintilla of a notion that it might hurt the business. But so that's just something to keep an eye on.
Is the commissioner? What is his role? Is he good for the brand still?
He's had a rough run of it, I would say. I think there are 2 different ways of looking at it. Nobody has come up with an owner. No owner has broken ranks yet. He still has, from what I can tell, 100% support of the owners, and that's because they're making more money now on every metric than they have before. I mean, attendance is up, sponsorship is up, licensed products up, media is up. So that's different from the brand. Is he good for the brand? No, he's sort of, it's unusual because the NFL commissioner has never been Bud Selig. The public generally didn't like Bud Selig, it seemed. The Gary Bettman is somebody that the public didn't like. David Stern got booed at the draft. That never really happened with the NFL commissioner, and I think that's starting to happen.
John, good to visit with you. I know these are interesting times, and thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me.
All right, it's John Ourand, Sports Business Journal reporter.